So we're recording interview for Kanpai now. First question, fairly easy. Please introduce yourself.
Okay, so I'm Lucy Wilson. That's quite new. We only got married a month ago. And Tom and I together are Kanpai London. We're the UK's first sake brewery, and we're based in Peckham in South London.
I'm Tom Wilson. I'm busy eating some kind of weird Japanese burger. And as Lucy said, we are together Kanpai London, and we are the UK's first Japanese sake brewery. So we started brewing a few years ago, but only went live a few weeks ago, and to sort of actually sell. And that's it. We're based in Peckham in South London.
And we drank a lot of sake before this interview just to set the scene.
I'll put that in there. How did you get the idea of starting a brewery?
So actually, I'd say Tom's had the taste for sake for a long time. You got the taste for it, you used to live in New York, they're a bit ahead of the curve, that kind of thing. For myself, Tom introduced me to sake. I kind of had those traditional introductions to it, which was maybe a pour sake that was heated up, it was free at the end of a meal, I wasn't sure. And then when we went to Japan, I think our first trip was nearly 4 years ago now, and we visited sake breweries, and I was like, wow, my goodness, is this what sake is to taste of? It's cool, and it's delicate, and it's interesting, and it's so varied, and I just absolutely got the bug for it as well.
So I'm going to interrupt.
Yep.
So what you just heard is Lucy's experience of how she got into sake.
Yeah. Yours is very different.
Yeah, completely. Because, the first sake that I drank was, and I started getting into it about 14, 15 years ago. And the world was quite a different place. What was available in London back then was completely minuscule compared to what's available now. And as Lucy mentioned, my parents living in New York and me travelling over there and experiencing the culture out there surrounding sushi and ramen bars and all that kind of stuff, which was, substantially ahead of the UK market. So being exposed to a number of good quality sake, a long time ago, and by the time that Lucy and I met, which is when we both of us were residing in London 6.5, 7 years ago, things were starting to sort of come along a little bit in this country, and I'd already developed my love for the drink and the food and the culture, so through that point I sort of dragged Lucy through it. So
it dragged me. Yeah. I was so keen to go to Japan.
Of course. So,
but for the whole thing, not just the sake, the whole.
Yeah. And that's a big thing with Japan. It's a all-encompassing experience. It's not just a one-dimensional thing around either food or drink or clothes or music and culture. It's everything.
Sorry, that's the longest answer to your short question.
No, well, they are. It's up to you how long. The longer the better, to be honest, because it means that you want to answer questions. So you recently ran a Kickstarter campaign. Can you tell us more about that?
So, for us to grow,
crowdfunder.
Yeah, we use crowdfunder, UK based, because it's a UK based company, and. For us, it was a dual thing. We obviously need a little bit more backing to be able to grow as a company. Our brewery is very micro. We shuffle around in there like crabs, it's very, very small, and if we want to experiment like we want to, we need to grow it. So that was the passion to do it. But also for us, it was like just testing if there was interest out there, and we were absolutely blown away.
You beat your target, didn't you?
We beat the target, we stretched it, and we hit that too, and we were, it was really, really encouraging, and we're really pleased. And actually, we're busy wrapping bottles at the minute to get them out the door so people can enjoy their rewards.
For us, it was like a huge litmus test to the market whether a UK-based, London-based sake brewery would appeal, and we surpassed our expectations. Absolutely.
And how do you make your sake? Is there anything you have to do differently to how you'd make it in Japan?
Over to the head brewer.
I mean, fantastic question. I mean, we're fortunate in London that we have a pretty moderate temperature here for the climate. So, you know, within our sort of warehouse environment, our room temperature stays pretty consistent and constant throughout the year. So for us, again, we're brewing on a very small scale, but the really important things are obviously quality of ingredient and consistency of temperature for our brewing. So we import ingredients that amount to yeast, koji kin, rice from either Japan or the US. I mean, no one in the UK is growing rice, let alone sake rice. So we have contacts in both Japan and the US where we have our rice milled to specification and delivered. And then we do our brewing here. And the main thing for us is we monitor temperature and regulate the brewing process.
So I'd say the question was, you know, is it different, I think, in any way? And the process is exactly the same. It's obviously a bit harder to get hold of the ingredients, a lot harder to get hold of the ingredients. And the difference is we use good old London Thames water, which gives us the profile that we're after, which is the drier, full-bodied Jinmai. So that's the difference.
I'm assuming you filter the Thames water first.
So we do a physical filter to get rid of the hard metals,
heavy metals, chlorine, all this kind of stuff. So.
But we've toyed with treating it, and we personally preferred it, and it kind of meets our goals of a full-bodied Jinmai as is. It's a harder water in the UK and especially in London than it is in Japan, which uses beautiful, you know, Japanese springs water. But it gives the sort of taste that we're after.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you just very quickly explain like the process for some of the people who don't know, like the process of making sake?
Quick.
Yeah. Okay. So super quick. We steam some rice. We cool that rice and inoculate it with a mold spore called koji kin. And we, over a 48-hour period, we grow this mold spore across a portion of the rice.
It's probably worth saying that this mould isn't scary. It's the same mould that's used for common things like soy sauce.
Correct.
So it's not a gross mould.
No, it's a specialist mould that's used for these kind of processes, and we arrive with a koji rice after the 48-hour period, and we use a portion of this koji rice in our starter, our moto, and the moto is our sort of yeast starter. So a portion of koji rice, fresh steam rice, water, yeast, and as with the modern methods of brewing sake, some lactic acid, and we create our moto. And this is our yeast starter that we cultivate over a couple of weeks. And once that's cultivated, we then do our build-up, which is over a 4-day period. And you look at a sixth of the portion of all the rest of your ingredients for the rest of the build-up. So day 1, 1/6 of your remaining koji rice, 1/6 of the remaining steamed rice. You steam that fresh, put it in, cool it, put it in. 1/6 of your water, and you move your moto to a larger tank. You do your build-up, and then that's day 1. Day 2, you stir and let things settle. Day 3, you do 2/6 of the portion. Day 4, you do the same as the first 2 days put together. So half of the portion, and then you've reached
You're
your variety.
summarising.
Yeah, I know, I am. And then you build up, and then you've got your final quantity. And then over a 3 to 5 week period, depending on what you're brewing and the quality of what you're brewing and the flavours you're trying to get out of there, you monitor the temperature and you stir and you build up what's in there.
So essentially, it's 4 ingredients. It's koji, it's steamed rice, it's water, and it's yeast, and it's a huge labour of love.
Great.
Yeah.
I think that's a great point to end on because we're getting told, okay, being interviewed.
Good
Okay, I'm going
ideas.
to ask another question.
Yeah.
Let me cheating. What next for Kanpai?
What next? We want to explore more and more flavours. So every time in our batches, we're doing the small batch model. We either change the type of rice we're using, or the yeast we're using, maybe the koji we're using, so we can get different flavours out of it. We hope to create a sparkling one. We've tasted a lot here tonight at Hyper Japan, and we think it's a really exciting avenue for sake to get people really into it, and maybe flavoured ones as well. So we're just going to keep experimenting. We want to get it out there. We want to hear what people like, and then keep making more of what's working.
Great. Excellent. I think that's a very good point to end on. Thank you.
Thank you.